Hey everybody, welcome to Frontline Football. Sorry, I just had to empty out my pockets first. But this week, I was told to do an intro by some of our great fans who we do all care about because you are the Frontline family. So, let's talk about what they wanted me to do for this week's. They said for this week, I should talk about a one-handed catch that football game that I went to this week. So this football game happened a couple days back. It was two schools facing each other, and I kid you not, this was one of the best plays that I've ever seen. So this quarterback just throws a dot, and the receiver, oh my gosh. If you're that receiver, uh, I'll tell you if you ever see me, it was crazy. You just dove out, and this guy also had PI on him too because, the cornerback pushed him over in the end zone, and this guy just jumps out and catches it with one hand. It was insane. The crowd went crazy whenever that happened, but hey, today we're going to be talking about some other rookies. You may know by my New York Jets hat that we're going to be talking about this year's rookies and how they performed in the preseason. But hey, stay tuned for Season 2 because it's coming soon. This is probably our last video for Season 1. It's either this or the hot takes. But hey, Season 2 is about to start. Get ready, get excited, and roll the intro.
Welcome guys to Frontline Football. Today, like Josh said, we are going to be talking about rookies. Now, we're going to be talking about the 5 quarterbacks. So the 5 quarterbacks that consist of Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. And I'm going to hand this one off to Jack because one of the top 5 quarterbacks is his quarterback.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to give my grades. I'm probably going to go in just the order they were selected, not based on performance. So let's start out with number 1, which is Mr. Trevor. And overall, I'm going to give his performance a B-. He's had moments where he's looked really impressive, but he's looked like he struggled at times. But it's not all of that is his fault because I've seen his O-line, and that's causing a lot of the problems. He doesn't really get a clean pocket ever, pretty much, very rarely. But overall, I think it's going to continue to be an up and down. But Jags O-line needs to get better so they can actually help this guy out. Zach Wilson, he gets an A because he looks comfortable. He's doing very well so far. He's got a great connection with Corey Davis. And he's doing all this without his starting slot receiver and starting left guard. So he's done a very good job managing himself in these games. His O-line's held up pretty well. His receivers look good for the most part, especially Corey Davis. And overall, for once, he looks comfortable as an NFL quarterback, and he looks ready to go. Next up, we got Mr. Trey Lance, and I'm going to give him a B, solid B. He's had a lot of awesome moments where he's like, oh, I don't know how he made that throw. Oh, he launches an 80-yard bomb. Oh, perfect. But sometimes he has some inconsistencies. But overall, as a whole, I think that's exactly what you expect out of Trey Lance. I didn't expect him to be the most polished guy. But you're seeing the moments of greatness, and that's what counts. He's going to make progress, be patient, but solid start. Fields, I'm going to give an A-. I think Fields has had some issues, but overall, it's everything you want is there. The athleticism, the arm strength. He's looked relatively impressive for the most part. Went off to a slow start in his first preseason game, but was able to turn around. And overall, I think I'm really starting to like Fields. Even on the Bears, most of the offensive people not playing, I think he's done really good for what they've given him in the preseason reps. And last but not least, we got Mac and Cheese, Mac Jones. He's going to also get an A. I think he and Zach Wilson were the best performers by far. I think Mac Jones also looked very polished and looked confident. He didn't throw a lot of touchdowns, but no interceptions. He's only taken 1 sack, so he knows where to place the ball. And overall, he, like Zach Wilson, they both looked the most comfortable out of this group. So final grades are Trevor gets a B-, Zach Wilson gets an A, Trey Lance with the B, Justin Fields with the A-, and Mac Jones with another A. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Well, let's start off with the top 5 quarterbacks here. And I will be going by ranking the worst to the best. So, first, I obviously got to get the worst to Trevor Lawrence because he had great moments, but his line just didn't hold up, which made him look bad, especially in the Saints game. So I'm gonna give him probably a C, going on a C plus. And remember, this is preseason, so it doesn't really determine much. We're just having fun for a video. So unfortunately, the first pick of this draft did not perform as we expected in the preseason. So now let's go up to a quarterback who, he had some shining moments, but he's been pretty solid for this time. Lance, as Jack said, he had some moments where he totally amazed people, but then other moments where you're wondering how he got drafted in the top 5, which is not bad. That's what we were expecting from him in the first place. And with a little bit more training, I think that he could be one of the best that this league has ever seen. So I'm going to give him a good B- going on a C+, just because of his inconsistency. And then next, now we're starting to get to the good people. Next, I'm going to have to go with Mac Jones. He was pretty good this preseason. He made all the right reads. He didn't throw an interception. Didn't have the passing touchdowns to show for it. But he kept his interceptions low, and he looked very, relaxed in the pocket. So I'm going to give him a B. And I think that if he keeps this up, he could be one of the best Patriots quarterbacks in their history. Probably second best at the best, because Tom Brady is still a thing. And then finally, let's get to my top 2. First, we have Justin Fields, who has come in at 6th place. And Justin Fields, from what he's shown, Bears fans should really be excited for what he could bring to the team. This isn't Mitch Trubisky again. This is another quarterback, and hopefully this is your franchise guy. And I'm excited to see what Fields does against a real team, but we're going to have to wait a little bit because Andy Dalton has been named the starter. So I think that Fields will probably be starting very soon. I believe it's going to be like a Deshaun Watson situation. And so yeah, Fields, I'm going to give him an A- for this, just because of that first game. And finally, at number 1, the guy who got commended by Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson. I got to give him a number 1 for this preseason. He is the preseason quarterback champion, quarterback MVP for the rookies. So, with this guy, he was making the right decisions. He was placing the ball where it needed to be. He was just looking like probably the most polished quarterback in this class right now. So, I have to give him an A. So, that's my list. Zach, what are your thoughts?
All right. With the first pick of the draft, Trevor Lawrence, I'm gonna give him a C+. Trevor Lawrence, again, like they said, his O-line has really failed him because they have not brought in any pieces to help, even though there was pieces in the offseason to pick up, which they could have paid for because they have the highest cap, and still the highest cap salary in the league. They could have totally brought in someone good to help protect Trevor Lawrence, but they didn't. Now, not all of this is the offensive line's fault. He's also had bad decisions. He doesn't look as confident in the pocket as he usually is. At Clemson, he was very confident. He can make throws on the run, in the pocket. He just doesn't look the same, and I understand that this is just preseason and we're just getting a little glimpse of it, but it doesn't really help when one of the pieces that you drafted, Travis Etienne, is not on the field to help Trevor Lawrence's development. Okay, with the second pick, which is Zach Wilson, I'm gonna give him a A. He's been doing really well. He looks really confident in the pocket. He looks really confident on the run, and he knows when to scramble and when to just put away, which is a really good thing for a rookie that people were saying that needed time to develop. He looks the most ready out of all these guys right now. And hopefully he can keep that up during the regular season. Now, with the third pick, Trey Lance. Trey Lance, I'm gonna give a B minus because Trey Lance has been having good numbers. It's just, again, like they said, he's gonna be very inconsistent. He's gonna throw horrible passes, but then you're gonna see some beautiful passes from him, like that 80-yard bomb that Jack mentioned. Now, the reason he's not a B, he still needs time. I don't think that he should start instantly like some Niners fans have been saying. I think he needs to sit, maybe like put him in if you're like really beating out a team, or if like Garoppolo gets injured like week 7, then probably start him. He'll probably be ready, and the Niners can like make him into a really good quarterback. They could win a Super Bowl. Just it's gonna take some time. Now, with the 11th pick, Justin Fields went off, and just like he went off the board at 11, not even the top 10, he's been proving that he should have been a top 5 pick. And yeah, this is a really good year. I'm gonna give him an A minus. He did have a bad first game, which is fine, but he really showed a lot of great potential to be the Bears franchise quarterback. Now, Mitch Trubisky also showed this promise. This is different. Justin Fields was really regarded in college, from being the first pick, sometimes to the second pick, and then Zach Wilson came in, and we're not going to talk about that anymore. But he can probably, if the Bears can use this talent in the next few years, Justin Fields is still producing and developing, they could win a Super Bowl also because of this defense that they also have. Now, I'm not saying that they're instant Super Bowl champions because they'll need a line. Some of their defense is getting older, but that's different. We'll talk about that later down the line. I think they were drafting at 15 with the 15th pick. Mac Jones went off the board, and Mac Jones also gets an A. Mac Jones doesn't have touchdowns like Josh said, but he's been showing that he is very confident in the pocket. He hasn't shown as much as Zach Wilson on the run, but Mac Jones in Alabama didn't really show that he could move too much. He knows what he's doing in the pocket, which I like. He looked confident. He's making throws well for a rookie, and I think if they can keep this up, they could probably win a Super Bowl, like I said, if his development goes well, and they can win another one because that defense is really good. So they already have a playoff team. It's just if Mac Jones can do well. And then that's it. All right, we're going to go on to our next segment, which is we're going to name 3 players, 1 from our team and 2 that are not from our team. We could really like them, or we could just be very disappointed in them. I'll start off here because my team is the best. We're probably going to win the Super Bowl soon. And the player I am really enjoying preseason was Gregory Rousseau. Now, people were doubting him because of sometimes some people mentioned that he had character issues off the field and he wasn't ready yet because he was undersized. He's been proving the doubters wrong, and he's been doing really well in preseason. He's been one of the most dominant players in preseason this year. And yeah, that's basically what I have to say about him. My next one is Penei Sewell. He's only allowed 1 sack this preseason, which is like really good for a rookie because you can't just have talent. Like, he's a generational left tackle. He's gonna take some time. But at least he's only allowing 1 sack this whole preseason, which is good. If he can keep this consistency, he could be really good. And then the player I am very excited for on my team. His name, we picked him up in the 4th round. His name is Marco Wilson. Now, you're thinking, who is this guy? Who is Marco Wilson? If you watch the LSU Florida game, he is the guy who threw the shoe off the the LSU wide receiver, his shoe fell off, and he threw the shoe, and they lost the game because they got into field goal range. They kicked the field goal, and they won. Now, he doesn't seem that great when you first look at him and his draft report, but he has been dominating training camp. He's been doing really well in preseason. He's been showing why he should be on this team, and I think he could be a good nickel corner to second option corner in the coming years. Now, I'm going to hand this one off to Jack for his pick. However.
All right. So the first one, I'm going to go with an offensive and a defensive. And my offensive one, it has to be Terrence Marshall. Terrence Marshall was a guy I liked out of college, but I did not expect him to look this good. Tonight he was dominating. Week 1 he was dominating. A little quieter week 2, but still. Terrence Marshall looks incredible out there for the Panthers. And he's farthering my argument for the Panthers having the second best draft in the entire league. He looks so good. He looks ready to go. And Robbie, DJ Moore, and Terrence Marshall is looking really, really nice right now. So he's having a phenomenal preseason. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL, and he's going to have a real shot to get some reps in the number 1 receiver role in the Panthers. And my defensive one is going to be Pat Surtain. He had a quieter week 2, but his week 1 was pretty incredible. He had one of the best passer or defense ratings out of all the cornerbacks in the preseason so far, and that's not something you normally see. Rookie cornerbacks it's one of the hardest positions to learn. They don't come out of the gate very hot. We saw that top 3 pick, Jeff Okudah, last year was the latest example of that trend that rookie cornerbacks just kind of suck most times. They take a lot of time to get used to the NFL and gel. But Pat Surtain in his first preseason game has made himself, he already looks at home in the NFL, and I think he's going to be really good. I think he's got a lot to build off of in this campaign. And then for my Jets player, since, AVT and Moore sat out the preseason just for precautionary sake so they'd be ready for week 1, I'm going to dig into the late rounds for a guy, and I'm looking at linebacker Hamsah Nasruddin. I think he's had a really impressive preseason campaign, and I think he's won the starting job for the will linebacker on the Jets. He's been very good. He looks like he knows what he's doing, and he hasn't really made any crucial mistakes yet. He's had a very nice preseason so far. What are yours, Josh?
Okay, so my top 2 for the league, I'm going to name one offensive player and one defensive player. Like the rules have already been stated. So my guy who I'm really excited for his preseason, from the offensive side, probably Zach Wilson, because he looks so polished, and I think that he's really giving Jets fans something to be excited for. I think that he's probably the best performing rookie in this class. Next, with defense, I got to make sure that I'm looking at this correctly, because just got to find what I was going to talk about. And I think that my best performing defensive rookie is probably Gregory Rousseau, because he was very dominant in this preseason. He really showed why he's one of the top picks of the draft. And I think that the Bills really got a steal here for the production that he was giving them. And my most disappointing rookie of this preseason is Jamar Chase, because along with domestic violence allegations, he also has dropped plenty of passes that were supposed to go to him, and he's just not looking like his college self. So there's something that's happening here that's really scary. Really scaring me about Jamar Chase and the Bengals picking him. So that's my underperforming rookie. And let's get to the Texans. I'll name one offensive player, one defensive player, and one player who I think didn't have the best, or I'll just name a defensive player and one player who I think didn't have the best preseason. So first, obviously, who had the best preseason? I gotta go with the undrafted rookie out of Arizona University, Mr. Roy Lopez, the Salsa King himself. And with my most underperforming rookie from looking at the game, it would probably have to be Davis Mills, No, I understand. He's a late round pick. You need to give him time. But I'm just going off of what I saw on the field. And what I saw on the field is that Davis Mills sometimes he was great at his decision making. He could do his 2 steps back and find his target. But other times he just looked like he struggled in the pocket, which I understand. He's a 3rd-round pick. But also with the Texans, I have a lot of slim pickings. So Davis Mills is my underperforming rookie. Do I believe he's going to be the Week 1 starter? No, I probably think he'll start a couple of years into his career. Maybe with the Tyrod thing, he'll be thrown into the starting role. But I think that he's going to need some time to develop, and maybe he can get those flaws out of his game to make him the best quarterback that he can be.
Yeah, you're good. All right. We all said our takes on who we think is the best top 5 quarterbacks, and Josh mentioned Zach Wilson twice, but that's fine. And yeah, that does it for our video today. If they liked it, what should they do, Josh?
If you like it, don't hit the like button. Like I hit this chair. And if you want to keep going, hit that subscribe button, or hit that follow button if you're watching us on podcast form. So, unfortunately, this is the end of season 1.5, but don't worry. Season 2 is going to be the greatest season of football ever. Because we're seasoned now. We got a season under our belt. We got a whole off season under our belt. So this season, we're going to put the stuff together. And just like some quarterbacks and hopefully Jeff Okuda this year, we're going to put it all together and become one of the best YouTube channels in the football community. Mark our words. So, I've been Josh for Frontline Football. Thank you for watching us. And it doesn't matter if we have 3 or 300 views. It all just matters about who's here and who's watching us. So, I've been Josh from Frontline Football again. And Jack, hit the plugs.
As always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FrontlineFB. Links will be in the description. And the season 1.5 finale is upon us. It's been a crazy season 1, but season 2 is going to be even better. Next time you see our faces, it could very well be a predictions or a news video. Things are about to get serious in Frontline Football. The content's about to ramp back up. We've reached the official football zone of the year, and we'll see you guys back here for the arrival of the NFL Week 1 predictions Season 2 debut.